Jess, have you ever seen a crowd like this in southern Colorado?
Tony, this is by far the biggest demonstration I've been to, and it remained peaceful. Organizers estimate more than 1,000 people marched. Police shut down part of downtown while they went through. The Colorado Springs Showing Up for Racial Justice group helped organize the event. They say the march initiates the first 100 days of resisting and responding to President Donald Trump's rhetoric. Organizers tell me today was about coming together to show they will not stand for it. There were also some Trump supporters who showed up to the rally. We talked to both sides. Both say it's important to have their voices heard.
I think it's really, really important for people to come out and let people know, other people know that it's not okay. The guy doesn't stand for what I believe in.
I thought it'd be a beautiful thing for Americans to come out, join, use the First Amendment, and go support their views for what they stand for today.
The march here today was a sister march in correspondence with marches across the country and even in other countries. We'll have more coming up tonight on 11 News at 10. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Jessica Light, KKTV 11 News.
Thanks, Jess, and glad it stayed peaceful. The Women's March on Denver started at about 9:30 this morning. The Mile High March caused some traffic issues as tens of thousands of women across the Centennial State gathered in Civic Center Park. Take a look at that crowd. A Facebook event page stated the march is meant to provide an outlet and support those who wish to, quote, advocate and defend the most marginalized members of our society. Well, the largest march taking place in our nation's capital today. Transportation officials in Washington say today is the 5th busiest Saturday in the subway system's history. Metro tweeted it recorded nearly 600,000 trips. President Donald Trump had a first-hand look at the March on Washington. About 500,000 people showed up for the D.C. rally. And here's a live look at a women's march in San Francisco taking place right now. I believe we have that video. It doesn't look like we do, but following his inauguration, President Donald Trump got to work on his first full day on the job. The president's first order of official business was to visit the CIA, which is investigating Russia's role in influencing the presidential election. Weijia Zhang reports.
It is true. This is my first stop. Officially.
On his first full day in office, President Donald Trump toured CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, and received a briefing by senior staff. The president has often criticized the U.S. intelligence community, but praised it on Saturday.
I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job, and we're going to start winning again, and you're going to be leading the charge.
Earlier this month, President Trump questioned the intelligence community's conclusion Russia interfered with the U.S. presidential election, and he sharply criticized the leak of unverified documents that had potentially damaging personal and financial details about the president. But now he denies being upset.
As you know, I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth. Right? And they sort of made it sound like I had a feud with the intelligence community. And I just want to let you know, the reason you're number one stop, it is exactly the opposite.
Mr. Trump started his day at the National Cathedral with his family for an interfaith service, a tradition for a new president. The Trump family had some downtime in their new home, where President Trump appears to be settling into the Oval Office. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump is set to welcome the United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May at the White House. This will be next week. One of the first foreign leaders to meet with the president after the inauguration. They're expected to talk about a post-Brexit trade deal. Now to our first forecast with Jessica LaBelle. Jessica, this time of year, people could have been marching in a foot of snow, but luckily some nice conditions out there. I'm wondering, are we expecting any moisture tonight?
Well, a couple of areas starting to see some showers already. So we have been dealing with some showers out on our southeastern plains and some sneaking into Teller County right now. And you can see most of those concentrated in the far southeastern corner of Colorado here. They are falling as snow showers, a little bit of rain showers on the far eastern side of Baca County. But if we zoom in here a little bit closer to Teller County, we are beginning to see some showers, possibly fluorescent, seeing a couple of flurries up there, but this is very light snow and it's really not going to be a big deal, these showers. We could see some small accumulations on the plains and some wet roads, but other than that, not a huge impact. Now we are really cooling down here in the Pikes Peak region already, 27 degrees in Monument, partly cloudy skies, a pretty sunset there. And if we look at temperatures across the plains, we're already dropping into those mid 30s. We're at 34 in Lamar, 33 down in Springfield and La Junta, 34 for Trinidad right now. Pueblo sitting at 40 degrees, a little bit more mild than everywhere else. And Colorado Springs at 35 degrees right now. And luckily we're keeping those winds calm as well, except down in Springfield where we're seeing a couple of those showers. A light breeze around 14 miles an hour. But as far as the showers go tonight, I think activity is going to pick up west of the interstate later on this evening, heading into 9 o'clock, mostly concentrated towards our southern I-25 corridor, and a lot of that beginning to clear out by 10, and then really by 1:30 we are seeing dry conditions. So that's what we have in store for tonight. I'll let you know if we're expecting any showers tomorrow coming up in my full forecast. Tony?
Thanks, Jessica. Conservation Group is challenging Colorado Parks and Wildlife plans to reduce predator numbers to help deer populations improve. The group suing the agency says the plans are not grounded in sound science and violate Colorado's Constitution. One Parks and Wildlife plan would remove up to 15 lions and 25 bears per year on the Roan Plateau, that's near Rifle. The plan spans over 3 years to see if it boosts fawn survival rate. And this is new at 5:30. Colorado Springs police are investigating a shooting in the southeast part of the city. A portion of Poughkeepsie Drive near Milton E. Parkway and South Powers Boulevard was blocked off just after noon today. Police say one man was shot and taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. A woman was being interviewed by police. It isn't clear what charges, if any, the two may face. A possible meth lab tucked away in a neighborhood in northeast Colorado Springs. At about 10:30 last night, police were called to the 7600 block of a North Mark Sheffel Road. That's near Dublin Boulevard. No one was at the home, but police found possible signs of a meth lab and are continuing to investigate. Happening right now, volunteers are continuing to search for the last of 4 dogs that went missing following a deadly crash on I-25 near Colorado City more than a week ago. A man and his son were transporting rescue dogs from Texas to shelters throughout Colorado when the crash happened, claiming the life of Charles Roberts. This 75-pound shepherd mix named Kelly remains missing. If seen, you're asked to call the number there at the bottom of your screen. A silver lining in this dark, dark cloud. One of the dogs found by volunteers was returned with her puppies. This is Sandy. Sandy was missing for about a week before volunteers found her in good condition. Volunteers hitting the streets of Pueblo in the Belmont area installing smoke alarms for residents today. The Pueblo Fire Department teamed up with the Red Cross for the Home Fire campaign, hoping to spread the message of fire safety. A reminder to practice fire drills at your home and check existing smoke alarms. This neighborhood was chosen because of the high fire risk. Well, tragedy striking the country of Italy in more ways than one. Details in the bus crash that claimed the lives of more than a dozen people. Plus, the search for survivors continues following an avalanche in Italy. We'll be right back in just a bit. More people have been found alive under the wreckage of an Italian hotel after an avalanche buried it. Survivors were found in the area of a hotel where there was an air pocket allowing them to breathe. The avalanche happened on Wednesday after a series of earthquakes in the region. This brings the number of survivors to 11. 4 people have been found dead and 20 are still missing. At this time, all known survivors have been pulled from the rubble. Italian police say 16 people died when a bus carrying Hungarian students crashed into the side of a highway in Italy. 39 people survived the crash. The bus crashed and burst into flames just before midnight. No other vehicles were involved, and it's unclear why the bus went off the road. The bus was returning from France to Budapest with students ages 15 to 17. The state of New Mexico is suing Takata, the Japanese airbag maker. The state's attorney general says Takata spent years concealing the potential danger of exploding airbag inflators, and that amounts to an illegal trade practice. Takata has already agreed to $1 billion in penalties and federal settlements. Well, right now, the price of coffee could be rising. Drought in Brazil has sent some coffee futures to a 6-year high. Crops are expected to be much smaller than normal, not only in Brazil, but in Vietnam and Indonesia as well. Well, turning to local weather, Jessica, we're expecting some snow showers in our area tonight.
Yeah, Tony, a couple of snow showers tonight. They're not going to be a big deal at all, and they should get out of here just after midnight. But we are going to be seeing much drier weather as we head into tomorrow. A quick warm up and some very cold temperatures next week. I'll have details when we return. You're going to be dropping down into the 20s as we head into Tuesday.
I got to mention this, Jessica. Tomorrow's perfect football watching weather. Another little reminder, AFC Championship going to be right here on Channel 11, and there's going to be no 5:30 newscast tomorrow. So just wanted to tip everybody off right now.
Excited.
Yeah, but speaking of football, Air Force football coming off another 10-win season, Taylor. Today, two of their own back on the field.
That's right. Jalen Robinette and Weston Steelhammer both representing the Falcons in the East-West Shrine game. We're going to check in on them in Florida coming up next. Plus, Colorado, they're still looking for their first Pac-12 win. Can the Buffs get it done on the road? We take you there next in sports.
Showers late on Monday, moving in. A couple of showers sticking around through Tuesday. We will see temperatures drop down to the 30s that day, so it's going to feel much cooler next week. And we're not going to kick the cold after Tuesday, but we are going to kick the snow out on Wednesday and dry out Wednesday all the way through next Saturday. It doesn't look bad for next weekend.
All right, thanks, Jessica. We're just glued to my phone right now. Latest
Is it
update.
final?
2 seconds left. Air Force winning 58-55. Again, we'll have your final tonight at 10, but thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tonight at 10. Coming up on 11 News at 10, police looking into what led up to a shooting in the southeast part of Colorado Springs. A planned mortgage premium rate cut by the Obama administration was snipped by the Trump administration, and what the Women's March meant to just a few of the thousands that took part in Colorado Springs.
Now, with 11 minutes of non-stop news and your no-wait weather, KKTV 11 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tony Keith, filling in for Lisa Chin. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thousands taking to the streets of downtown Colorado Springs for the Women's March. Some demonstrating resistance to the newly elected president, others just hoping to shed more light on women's rights. 11 News reporter Dustin Cusick joins us now with a closer look at what this global event meant to our locals in our area.
Tony, a lot of the people that we talked to today say that this was not a protest of President Trump. It was a rally meant to spread peace, love, and awareness of women's rights. Trump protesters, though, who were also at the rally, say a lot of those demonstrators did not practice what they preached.
Thousands marched through the streets of Colorado Springs, joining the millions around the country and the world.
It's very important to me that we have a voice, that we speak for marginalized peoples.
The rally started in Acacia Park and made its way through downtown, police blocking off streets to make room. Thousands of people, each with their own reasons for being there.
We don't stand for any of the hateful rhetoric that's been spread.
I think it's really, really important for people to come out and let people know, other people know that it's not okay. The guy doesn't stand for what I believe in.
We've got to keep the earth healthy for all of them. And I'm not protesting anything. I just want to spread love and peace.
Trump supporters say they did catch some flack for being there, but even they were happy people's voices were being heard.
I thought it'd be a beautiful thing for Americans to come out, join, use the First Amendment, and go support their views for what they stand for today.
And organizers tell us there were around 7,000 people at that march in downtown Colorado Springs today. Tony?
Thanks, Dustin. Early estimates show nearly 3 million people took part in rallies across the country and the world for the women's marches. In the Mile High City, a reported 200,000 people flooded downtown Denver. Event organizers in Denver said the event would not take the tone of a protest, but rather an event calling for social justice for women. Our nation's capital played host to the largest demonstration. More than 500,000 people covered the streets of Washington, D.C. And to the west of us, about 100,000 demonstrators gathered in Seattle, Washington for the movement. With the inauguration behind us, President Donald Trump is getting to business as his first full day on the job comes to an end. CBS's Weijia Zhang has more on the president's first order of official business to visit the CIA, which is investigating Russia's role in influencing the presidential election.
On his first full day in office, President Donald Trump toured CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The president has often criticized the U.S. intelligence community, but praised it on Saturday.
I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job. and we're going to start winning again, and you're going to be leading the charge.
Earlier this month, President Trump questioned the intelligence community's conclusion Russia interfered with the U.S. presidential election. But now he denies being upset and blames the media.
They sort of made it sound like I had a feud with the intelligence community. And I just want to let you know, the reason you're number one stop, it is exactly the opposite.
The White House press secretary also criticized the media at the first news conference held inside the briefing room.
There's been a lot of talk in the media about the responsibility to hold Donald Trump accountable. And I'm here to tell you that it goes two ways. We're going to hold the press accountable as well. The American people deserve better.
Sean Spicer lashed out over reports about how many people attended the inauguration.
Photographs of the inaugural proceedings were intentionally framed in a way to minimize the enormous support that had gathered on the National Mall.
Spicer did not answer any questions or offer comment about the hundreds of thousands of people in town for the Women's March on Washington, most of them to protest President Trump. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
Now, President Trump is set to welcome United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May at the White House next week, one of the first foreign leaders to meet with the president after the inauguration. They're expected to talk about a post-Brexit trade deal. President Trump has stopped regulations former President Obama put in place to cut FHA mortgage insurance premiums. Obama's team announced back on January 9th they'd put in place a reduction for those taking out government-backed home loans. The cut was 1/4 percentage point and was supposed to go in effect this coming Friday. But the Department of Housing and Urban Development said the reduction has been, quote, suspended indefinitely. 11 minutes of non-stop news continues with this. A conservation group is challenging Colorado Parks and Wildlife plans to reduce predator numbers. The conservation group says the agency's plans are not grounded in sound science and violate Colorado Constitution. Now, one of these plans would remove 15 lions and 25 bears per year for the next 3 years to see if deer survival rates improve. Now, it's unclear exactly where police are investigating a possible meth lab in northeast Colorado Springs. Police were called to the 7600 block of a North Mark Scheffel Road. This is near Dublin Boulevard late last night. They didn't specify an address or property. There were materials on scene in the area that indicated a possible working meth lab. No suspects were in the area, and so far, no arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. An officer-involved shooting is under investigation in the northern part of our state. Fort Collins police say one of its officers shot a suspect armed with a gun this morning. The shooting happened while officers were responding to a report of a stabbing and burglary at a home. The suspect's injuries and name were not available. And this is new tonight. A woman facing attempted first-degree murder charges. Colorado Springs police are looking into a shooting in the southeast part of the city. Officers found a man who was shot when they arrived on scene. The man was taken to a local hospital for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. A portion of Poe Keeps Drive near Milton E. Proby Parkway and South Powers Boulevard was blocked off just after noon today.
About 12:40 today, we received a call about a shooting, and when we arrived, there was one person who had been shot.
23-year-old Brianna Lark was later arrested for attempted first-degree murder. Now, former First Lady Barbara Bush could be released from the hospital as early as tomorrow. Some good news. Both Barbara and her husband, former President George H.W. Bush, remain hospitalized but are improving, according to spokesman Jim McGrath. The 92-year-old former president was taken to the hospital Wednesday for a respiratory issue from pneumonia. Barbara is being treated for bronchitis. An update now on a story we shared earlier this week. An out-of-state musician traveling to Pueblo for a performance at a local church had his truck stolen in the northern part of the city. The pastor hosting this musician says the truck was found abandoned today and still runs just fine. However, the musician's alto sax, worth about $7 grand, remains missing. No arrests have been made in this case. To another positive update, nearly all of the dogs that got loose following a deadly wreck on I-25 last week have been found. That includes Sandy here. Sandy was reunited with her puppies after she was missing for about a week. One dog, however, Kelly, remains missing tonight. If you do see her, call the number 720. We've got that up on our website. She's a 75-pound shepherd mix, and if she is found, it'll help bring some relief to the crash that killed Charles Roberts as he was transporting rescue dogs from Texas to several shelters in Colorado. Well, a reminder that could save the lives of you and your family. In an effort to spread awareness of fire safety, the Red Cross partnered up with the Pueblo Fire Department today to install free smoke detectors in Pueblo's Belmont neighborhood. County Commissioner Garrison Ortiz was one of those canvassing the neighborhood. Since 2014, the campaign has installed 4,700 smoke alarms in Colorado homes. A good reminder to check your smoke alarm out and develop a fire drill plan with your family. Now for your no-wait weather with Jessica LaBelle. Sunday nearly here, and many are wondering what we can expect tomorrow as they head out the door to church, and of course it is football Sunday.
Yeah, we are expecting great weather tomorrow. Actually, we're going to be keeping it dry today. We saw a couple of showers around. Mainly all of those have wrapped up here in southern Colorado. And it also, Tony, would be a great day tomorrow for a hike. How about hiking the incline tomorrow morning? It's going to be 26 degrees at 7 a.m. if you're hiking that for sunrise tomorrow. By noon, though, warming up to 40 degrees, plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunglasses. And then by 3 o'clock, we are looking at temperatures around 44 degrees over in Manitou Springs. Now, Colorado Springs starting off at 23 degrees tomorrow morning, seeing a couple of high clouds building in the afternoon hours. We'll be up to 41 by lunchtime tomorrow, hitting a high of 45 degrees. And it's overall going to be just a beautiful day across the Pikes Peak region. 44 for Peyton tomorrow. We'll see 47 down in Fountain. Right around 46 for Security Widefield. Palmer Lake at 39. And Woodland Park making it to 37 degrees. Pueblo also starting out down into those 20s, so it will be chilly in the morning hours, but not feeling too bad with sunshine into the afternoon. High temperatures reaching just shy of 50 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And we are going to be tracking temperatures of 47 in Canyon City tomorrow. Cotopaxi at 39 degrees. Beulah coming in at 39 degrees. And Avondale will see 47 degrees tomorrow evening. Now down in Trinidad, we'll see 47 there tomorrow afternoon. 46 up in Walsenburg. 48 out towards Kim. Partly cloudy skies for our southern I-25 corridor. Our southeastern plains right into those mid-40s tomorrow. Sunny skies, and you finally are going to be seeing a dry day. Now, like I mentioned, we have cleared out from those showers we saw earlier across southern Colorado. Tomorrow, we're going to be keeping it dry. But then on Monday, we are going to bring in a slight chance of a couple of showers. Now, this is going to be similar to what we saw yesterday. Just a couple of quick hit-and-miss showers, not going to be a big deal. But this is ahead of our next storm system, and they're more likely going to be a rain-snow mix or just rain showers, because look how mild we're going to be on Monday here in Colorado Springs. We're going to be to 52 degrees, and those showers are going to move in later in the evening. So we will be dry during the day on Monday, but well, as the day goes on, we're going to see the winds increase, we're going to see the clouds increase, and the shower chances increasing, and those are going to stick around through Tuesday. So I want to talk about Tuesday. We've been talking about this storm system that's going to move through, and the main part of this storm system is going to be off to the north and the east of Colorado. So not really huge impacts here in southern Colorado. Not expecting a lot of snow at all from this system, but we could see a couple of snow showers around. So Tuesday, 35 degrees that day. We could see possibly a couple of wet roads for the Tuesday morning commute, but we will be drying out from Monday into the rest of the week with temperatures down into the 30s. So enjoy those mild temperatures on Monday. Probably are going to be 57 degrees and then cooling off to the 30s as soon as we dry out Wednesday through the rest of the work week. And Canyon City, a nice Sunday, 47 degrees up to 55 for Monday. A couple of showers possible on Tuesday. Again, a lot can change with that, so stay tuned with the forecast. And Woodland Park, 37 on Sunday, dry. Showers late on Monday into Tuesday, and staying in the 20s for next week. Back over to you, Tony.
Thanks, Jessica. After months of investigating, we may now know why a popular phone was catching fire. Coming up on 11 News, find out what could have been to blame for Galaxy Note 7 phones overheating. But first, deadly storms in Mississippi, a closer look at the destruction left behind after a tornado touchdown. Be right back in just a bit.
You're watching KKTV 11 News with Elisa Chin.
The tornado that hit Hattiesburg, Mississippi flipped this home upside down, toppled another, and ripped down power lines.
Oh. We had to do that. We had a little basement.
Yeah, we would all go down.
At least 4 people were killed and more than 20 injured after a tornado touched down in southern Mississippi earlier today. A door-to-door search is underway to make sure there are no other victims. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports.
The tornado that hit Hattiesburg, Mississippi flipped this home upside down, toppled another, and ripped down power lines. Other houses are missing roofs. This one now has steps leading to a structure that no longer exists. A fire station and a church were not immune from the damage. The devastation is so widespread, dozens of firefighters and police officers across the state have been dispatched to help with search efforts. Students at William Carey University's Hattiesburg campus were inside their dorms when the storm hit and must now begin the process of replacing what was lost.
Gonna bring us together somehow. I'm not sure. It's a lot of I don't know and why.
Students were evacuated and the campus was shut down. Thousands in the area were left without power as crews worked to repair a couple hundred downed utility poles, with threats of more possible severe weather in the forecast. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
The damage extended to 3 counties in southern Mississippi. State officials say they'll reach out to President Trump requesting a federal disaster declaration. Well, a burning question finally being answered. Coming up on 11 News, Samsung is set to release a report on why one of its popular phones was catching fire. But first, here are tonight's winning lotto, Powerball, and Cash 5 numbers. More people were found alive under the wreckage of an Italian hotel buried by an avalanche. Happened Wednesday after a series of earthquakes in the region. That brings the number of survivors to 11. They were found in an area of the hotel where there was an air pocket and could breathe. 4 people have been found dead and 20 others are still missing. Now here's a warning for parents. A new study finds gun violence in PG-13 movies has more than doubled since 1985. A PG-13 rating stands for parents strongly cautioned some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. But according to the study, movies targeting America's youth now have more gun violence than R-rated films. Experts urge parents to talk with their kids about the violence they see on the screen. The study is published in the journal Pediatrics. A bus returning from a school trip hit a pylon of a bridge in northern Italy earlier today. At least 16 people were killed and 39 others were injured in the crash. The bus was reportedly returning to Budapest from a school field trip. Authorities are investigating the cause of the incident. The Wall Street Journal reports batteries not sized properly, causing overheating, are to blame for Galaxy Note 7 phones catching fire. The news comes ahead of Samsung's planned event in South Korea on Monday, which is tomorrow night in the U.S. Now, Samsung plans to reveal the results of a months-long investigation into why some Note 7 devices burst into flames while charging. But the Journal, citing unnamed sources, is already reporting the results. Samsung says it has refunded or replaced 96% of the 1 million Galaxy Note 7 phones it sold in the U.S. Well, bringing it back to Colorado Springs, CSU Pueblo women's basketball still undefeated. And you know what? They're a top 10 team in the country right now, looking for another win, Taylor.
Yeah, and they're doing so tonight in front of a packed crowd at CSU Pueblo. Really fun to see. We're going to hear from the Thunderwolves next after tonight's battle against Colorado Mines. So can the Pack make it 19-0